Folks, welcome into sportsbookreview.com. It is Friday, and it's time to talk some Major League Baseball, the best half hour on YouTube. We got a game going on live, but before we get to that, a huge card today. After yesterday, an interesting one. Only one game starting around 7 o'clock, then one game around 9:40. Not the case today. Full card to try to get through it here. Jason, your day yesterday, how was it, brother?
Yeah, it could have been better. Those Nationals, they don't know how to score with runners in scoring position. Seems to be a problem the last 2 days. So, that's how my day went. Of course, the Mets won, so that helped a little bit. Now, just on to today, already on the Pirates in the first five. So, looking over to my right a little bit just to see the score every single time I get a chance.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that game in just a few moments. Kyle, ready, rocking, rolling, and ready on Friday here. What is good, Kyle?
Yeah, it's a good day. It's a little colder today, so we won't be hitting the golf course, unfortunately. It's cold everywhere, which is kind of a bummer, but it's Friday. We've got a full card. Didn't get any home run props yesterday, so looking to get back on the winning ways with the home run props today. Got a couple of guys I really like. I'm excited to be here with you guys as well, of course. And thank you to everyone for joining us in the chat box.
I got a couple games circled for today, but it is colder temperatures. But we're going to go over each and every one, see if we can find some slots that we do like here. But also, let's get right to the in-game live updates today. We do have a game going on right now. Pittsburgh and Chicago 0-0, bottom of the first inning. A man is on second base with one out here for the Chicago Cubs. If we take a look at the live totals in this game, 3.5 minus 122 for the Cubs with a man on second base. And then if we take a look at the Pirates, 3 plus 102 as they're already out of the top half of the first inning, but still have 8 at-bats to go. A live total here of 7, Jason. Walk us through what you were looking at on the Pirates today.
Yeah, well, I think everyone realizes how poor Davies has been so far this season. He's already faced the Pirates twice, and of course the Pirates have done well against him. They had one inning where they scored like 7 runs in one of those innings as we get a out here on a ground ball. So now there's 2 outs of the guy on third. But Cahill, he struggled against lefties more than righties. He's actually done really well against righties so far. It's been the lefties that he struggled with a 4.27 weighted OBA and an ISO of 239. You look down that Cubs lineup, it's just 3 lefties in that lineup and the rest are righties. So I figured Cahill could be able to work the Cubs and do some damage and not allow enough runs, and figured the Pirates, seeing Davies twice, already having success against him. Career numbers are pretty good for like Frazier, Reynolds, Moran. Figured there's a chance that the Pirates are able to win that first 5, and I saw it at plus 140. Then it dropped down to about plus 115, but still getting that plus money for the Pirates in the first 5 was just really good.
Yeah, it looks like an interesting game. Yesterday was able, as we did it live on the show again, took the Mets team total over 2, cashed that one relatively easily. Within 5 minutes of putting the wager in, that was already a free roll for the next 4 to 5 innings, which the Mets did end up getting 4 runs. Take the time, watch these games, play it out, beat these algorithms because they're out there with free money. And you might get that in today's game as well, Kyle, because we're looking right now, some depressed numbers already. If, let's just say, the Pirates don't score for the next 3 innings, you're looking at 1.5 runs over the next 4 to 5 innings. It's amazing with some of these low numbers that you can get here.
Exactly, and I really like how the Pirates profile against Davies today. The lineup in today is a combined 29 of 81, a 358 average. Jason touched on it. They just absolutely torched him the last time out. Cahill wasn't much better his last time out against the Cubs, in fairness, I will say that, but it definitely profiles here a little bit better for the Pirates. And again, we don't bet on the Cubs here on this channel, so you get that plus money against Davies. I think that's the route to go here, so I agree with Jason's take. And you could be I agree with Donnie. Maybe just wait a couple innings and then jump all over that low 1.5 team total. It's just easy money.
Yeah, a lot of games at 7 o'clock tonight. I'm really excited for it. So obviously, if you guys follow each one of us on Twitter, we're always shooting out plays all day long. If something is there, we're going to give it out and see if we can ride with the good people out here and make some money. Thank you guys for joining us today. And also 85,700 subscribers here on the channel. Less than 15,000 subscribers away. Hopefully we get this during football season up to 100,000 subscribers. This is an interesting play right here that just happened. It looks like a double by the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
Was that going to be a fair ball, or he actually dropped it into fair territory? Before we get to the next games, I just want to see the instant replay. That is a horrible beat if that's the case, the way it plays out here. Let's see what we got here. Let's see.
Oh boy.
If you get this feed, because I might be a little bit behind you, Jason, on this.
Yeah.
Take a look at this ball hit down the line. Let's see what happens. So here the replay's coming up now. Rizzo just lifts it down the right field. Actually, it looks like it might have been a fair ball anyway, but
Yeah.
that's a horrendous play there by the right fielder. Free money here for the Cubs, or I should say free runs. That was going to land as a fair ball, but just a terrible play. But here we are. We'll keep track of this as the game goes on 1-0 early for the Chicago Cubs. Let's get into the marquee games of the day today. And we start with the Philadelphia Phillies, the first place Philadelphia Phillies versus those Atlanta Braves. Eflin versus Morton today. 147, it's actually 147 offshore, Jason. 164 in New Jersey, 7.5 offshore, 8 in New Jersey here at FanDuel. Usually when you see these two teams line up down in Atlanta, you get decent weather. You just press the over button. But the Phillies lineup is a lot of mix mash right now. And Zach Eflin's been pretty good for the Phillies. 7.5 is an under in a Braves game. It's hard for me to look that way, though, Jason.
Yeah, Eflin, while he's really allowed no runs, he's done pretty well in that retrospect. He also allowed 10 hits against the Mets. He's been allowing a lot of hits, and that might come around to bite him eventually. I think he's allowed 7 or more hits in his last 3 starts. That's something to keep an eye on there. And then you also have Morton. His stats kind of look worse than what he's actually given out in terms of the analytics. So I think I would look at the Braves minus 0.5 in the first 5. This game go either way. Both these teams always have really good games against each other, especially in a divisional game. So be careful, but I do think the Braves minus 0.5 in the first 5 is the better look here.
Yeah, Harper expected back in the lineup tonight, or the estimated lineup, as well as Gene Segura. So some, guys coming back, and the lineup looks decent when you read it off. McCutchen, Hoskins, Harper, Ramuto, Gregorius, Bohm, Segura, and Odubel Herrera. Should be able to give it a go, but Morton's been pretty solid this year, Kyle.
Yeah, Morton's been pretty good, and if Harper is indeed back in the lineup, that will help, because without him listed here, the only hitter in this lineup with an advantage at all is Didi, 8 for 30 lifetime and a 2% advantage. When you look over at Atlanta, they profile here just a little bit better. Obviously, you got Freeman from the left-hand side, so that's going to help, although he is only 4 of 24 lifetime off of Eflin. 2 of those hits were for home runs. Albies profile as well, even Acuna profile as well. So I would give the advantage to the Braves. I like that look in the first 5, minus 0.5 at minus 115. I think that makes a lot of sense. And this game could be a sneaky nerfy call. Both pitchers here could be pretty effective, get out of the first inning. So I like Braves first 5, and I'll take a no-runs first inning in this one.
Yeah, low numbers. I'm looking at DraftKings just because it's an easier outlet for me to buzz up and down on one sheet with the team totals. The Phillies are at 3.5 plus 100, which means you could probably get a 3 out there. Same thing with the Braves, 4.5 plus 125. You can probably get a 3.5 around minus 145 in that range as well. So if you're looking to bargain shop here and pay the numbers down, they're going to be out there tonight. Decent weather down in Atlanta for hitting, so we'll certainly be able to keep an eye on that one here. Let's keep going. 971, 972, Toronto and Houston. Stripling versus Urquidy, a 140 favorite a 140 favorite here for Houston offshore. And if we take a look at the total here, 9 across the board. Jason, we'll start with you first here.
Yeah, I kind of like the Blue Jays a little bit more. I think their offense profile is better in this game. Righties are doing damage against Urquidy. 337 weighted OBA against righties, 203 ISO. And that Blue Jays lineup is going to be a bunch of righties. I know Stripling hasn't been great. He struggled against righties as well. But he's been able to dominate lefties so far this season as well. And that's a solid portion of the lineup there for the Astros. So I kind of like the Blue Jays plus 115 in the first 5, plus 125 in the full game. I do like the Blue Jays in this spot, but not enough to put money on it.
Yeah, Stripling has been getting cracked by righties. 481 weighted on base average, 282 ISO power numbers. If we flip it over and look at Toronto here, not a lot of great numbers in the lineup, but Urquidy, a righty, a high xFIP, and hasn't getting right-handed batters out, and that's where most of the power is going to come from a Toronto perspective. If we tee it up here on team totals, again, DraftKings 4.5 plus 115, so you could probably get 3.5s out there with juice, and then the Astros at 4.5 minus 122. Kyle, what are we looking at for this game down in Houston tonight?
Yeah, I like both teams' lineups tonight. You look at Toronto, we'll just start here. We've got 7 advantages here. We've got 33, 85, 46, 68, 33, and 17. And I like, what's going on with the Astros here. I'm not a big Stripling guy. When you look at Houston, they profile pretty well as well. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hitters, 7 hitters actually with an advantage here, including, guys like Altuve and Bregman. And Altuve's better. They're both better against lefties, but they both Stripling so bad against righties that it sort of equals out here. I like the over 9 here. I think there's runs in this game. I want nothing to do with either pitcher. I like stacking Toronto and DFS. I don't even mind double stacking this game offensively with both lineups. But I will. I think the plus money, since I'm pretty 50-50 on the game, the plus money for the Blue Jays Jason talked about makes a lot of sense. And I think the over 9 makes a lot of sense here. We should have runs in this game.
All right, 979, 980. The Dodgers take on the Angels. Urias, the lefty, on the mound versus Canning, a 158 favorite offshore for the Dodgers here in New Jersey, 162, 8.5 across the board. Jason, looking at the lineups tonight, we always like the Dodgers versus right-handed pitching. Canning has actually have a pretty good strikeout rate of about 30%. And a xFIP of 3.72, which isn't bad. But when you look at both lefties and righties here in the lineup against him, 368 and 336 weighted on base averages from both sides. And both of those ISO power numbers are elevated. So maybe it's one of those nights where the Dodgers do bounce back in this one. If we look from an Angels perspective, there's not really a lot to like tonight against lefties. And just the way it looks, I'm a Dodger guy tonight, Jason.
Yeah, and I agree. I like the Dodgers minus 0.5 in the first 5 as well. Yeah. Canning has had his struggles, but he's also had his solid outings as well. And, of course, this lineup for the Angels, Rendon's out again. Pujols obviously out. Maybe that helps the lineup a little bit. But, yeah, the Angels lineup doesn't look that great to begin with, outside of maybe Trout, Ohtani, and Walsh against the lefty, not as good. So, yeah, I think the Dodgers in this spot as well. But I also wouldn't be surprised if the Angels ended up winning this game at home against the Dodgers, who have kind of struggled this year, or lately, the last week or two. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Angels won. I still like the Dodgers here, at least in the first 5.
3.5 is a team total here for the LA Angels, Kyle. The Dodgers line up at 4.5 minus 121. And I always say this again. I love the Dodgers when they go to the American League because you get an extra bat in the lineup, a legitimate bat. So maybe that plays out. And also keep in mind when you're hunting down a team total or run line, they are the away team. They can score as many times as they want in the 9th inning, no matter what the score is. What are we looking at tonight, Kyle, in this game from your perspective?
I mean, you absolutely nailed it on the head. So we have Dodgers versus a righty. We have Dodgers getting an extra hitter. We have Dodgers getting to bat for sure in the 9th inning. And we have the Angels versus a lefty. So I think the line is too short in that first 5 for the Dodgers, minus 0.5 at minus 120. When all those things line up, look, we don't get numbers like that with the Dodgers. And I know they're losing some games and they're struggling a little bit here. They still have the best run differential in baseball. They're still the best team in baseball for my money. If you put them in a 7-game series against anybody, I think they win. Too many advantages here for the Dodgers tonight. We've got advantages up and down that order. Seager, Muncy, Betts, Turner, Smith, Sheldon Neuse, up and down the order. I like the Dodgers. I think they do get to their team total, but really the safe play for me is take that first 5, minus 0.5 at minus 120. I think the line's too short. Dodgers are bust for me tonight.
All right, a lot of games to get through tonight, but before we do that, let's get some bets out here going. And I was deciding because it wasn't great weather conditions, but I am going to go ahead and fire on a best bet, which I'll go last year. I'm going to start with you first. Jason, take a look at what you have on the card tonight. Give it out, and let's win some damn money tonight on Friday. Go ahead.
I usually don't do this, but I'm doing it. The Mets, minus 130, full game.
Oh, wow.
Taking my team, the Mets against Zach Gallen. And, Peterson, if you look at the analytics, you look at the numbers, Peterson's been a little bit better. Gallen just struggled versus the Rockies in his last start, allowed 4 runs in 4 innings, still had 7 strikeouts and 2 walks. But, really 2 of his 4 games that he's pitched, he's allowed 3 or more runs so far this season. Hasn't been that guy so far. And I know he'll get his strikeouts or whatnot, but also think the Mets lefties in that lineup can definitely do damage. Coming back home, I think it's going to be a good sign for the Mets. I think they get back on track. Peterson, he's had 3 games where he's looked really good, 2 games where he struggled. But out of those 12 runs that he allowed in those 2 games where he struggled, 3 of them were unearned runs. So that's really just 9 runs in those 2 games as well. So, yeah, I like the Mets. I like the lefties. And also Pilar, Alonso, they both hit well against righties as well. So I do like the Mets in the full game here. Gallen hasn't gone deep either. He's only had 1 game where he's gone over 6 innings pitched. So you get that bullpen. Hasn't been great. The Mets bullpen definitely better. So if it gets late in that game where it's tied or it's close, the Mets definitely have a chance to win that game. So again, Mets minus 130 in the full game. Now my other bet, of course, I'm on the Pirates right now. They are down 1-0. But my other bet tonight, Twins over 4.5 on the team total. Yeah. Byron Buxton is out now. He's not playing. He's got a hip injury. That hurts that lineup. They're already 11-19 on the year, so they've struggled. But they do have some really good numbers as righties going up against Screwball, of the Tigers, yeah, he's 433 weighted OBA to righties, 426 ISO to righties. And then, of course, Kyle always talked about this. The Tigers bullpen is absolutely horrible. So you get Screwball, you get that bullpen. You also get 9 innings guaranteed to get 5 runs for the Twins at -115, 4.5, -115. So I am on the Twins to get some runs here, and I think that even the Tigers should score some runs, but I'm just not nearly as confident, especially with Wilson Ramos going to the IL now.
All right, Kyle, best bets and bankers. What do we got from you tonight?
I got a couple of them here, and I'm more nervous about this one after talking to Jason before the show, so thank you for that. But I'm going to take this A's team total over 3.5 at -130. Look, I just like how their lineup profiles tonight here. They should be able to get it done against Hill. Now, I do realize after talking to Jason that Hill dominated them not that long ago, a couple weeks ago, a week ago, something like that in his last start against this team. But advantages of 16, 47, 32, 9, and 17. Give me those righties for the A's tonight. I think they get over that team total of 3.5. I also like the Padres first 5 -1.5 over the Giants at -1 or -0.5 at -105. Look, Desclafani, he's whatever, he's okay. But you've got the lefty Blake Snell on the mound. That Giants lineup is going to struggle against Snell. They're going to struggle against lefties. I think the Padres get it done in the first 5. I like the no runs first inning in Atlanta, Philadelphia, and a quick home run prop. Love JD Martinez tonight. I think he gets it done. 4-6 lifetime off of Matt Harvey. Righty smash Matt Harvey. Everyone smashes Matt Harvey. I know he's been a little bit better, but everybody, and JD Martinez absolutely smashes right-handed pitching. So I know it's not perfect weather, but I say Martinez goes yard for my home run prop tonight.
All right, I'm going to go with the best bet tonight in my game, and that's going to be the St. Louis Cardinals here going up against Gomber, the lefty, a 5.87 xFIP. He gets absolutely rocked by right-handed batters. 368 weighted on base, averaging an ISO power number right around .190. Good thing for us, all 8 batters expected for the St. Louis Cardinals. They will be lining up from the right-hand side. Edmonds, Carlson, Goldschmidt, Arenado, DeYoung, O'Neill, Bader, and also Kisner. Looking at DraftKings here, I'm showing a 4.5 plus 108. Get a better book out here. There's 4s and 3.5s out there. My best bet tonight is coming from BetMGM. 3.5 -150 on the Cardinals. They'll get 4 runs tonight. We'll be able to eat. And also one of the better weather condition games out here. No real precipitation we're worried about tonight. Winds blowing out to right field and about 70 degrees at first pitch. Let's get 4 runs here from the Cardinals. Let's hit that odds board lightning round as we get after it now. Go very quickly over these cards. Boston and Baltimore, 963, 964. Kyle, start with you here. Rodriguez, Harvey, quick thoughts.
I love the Red Sox tonight. I think they put up a ton of runs tonight. I like them in the first 5 innings. I'm trying to remember the number right here, but you're getting a decent number, -0.5, -120. Boston should score tonight. I like Boston's team total as well. And like I said, JD Martinez home run prop tonight.
Yeah, and by the way, that was a nice real graphic that we showed up there, right,
I
guys?
loved it.
Getting a lot of stuff moving through here. Good stuff here. Moves, looks nice and clean. So let's keep going. By the way, I do have Boston's team total as a circled possible play. So I do feel that Boston should be able to hit Matt Harvey in Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Jason, 975, 976. Washington and the New York Yankees. Corbin, who struggled this year, may be coming out of it, at least Washington hopes they do. He's a lefty. You're going to get a lot of stacked right-hand bats up in the Bronx tonight from the Yanks. Tyone is on the mound. 166 favorite. Over-under drops from 9.5 offshore to 8.5. Are you believing this drop, or what's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think there will be runs. I think the Yankees, their bats are starting to heat up a little bit. Going up against Corbin, who's a lefty. Yankees have a ton of right-handed power in that lineup. I like the Yankees here. I know the line is now dipped to like -160 when it opened up at like -200 or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I would still the Yankees have value at this point. I think that's kind of ridiculous. And yeah, I love the Yankees in the spot, -0.5 in the first 5, or even just take it full game at -160 and just ride out the Yankees throughout the entire game.
Yeah, Yanks bullpen's been good. It wasn't good yesterday against the Astros, but it has been, pretty decent for the remainder of the year. We'll see if that comes into it. Washington's getting a lot of traffic on the base path, just not able to cash in. And Juan Soto, if you can pinch hit, can you play? It's American League ballpark. Can you get your at-bats tonight? Maybe bolster this lineup. We'll see if he gets in. I'm going to go to you, Kyle, in this game. Milwaukee and Miami, Suter and Rogers, right? Most people can't pick up these 2 pitchers from a lineup, both lefties. 6.5. Is this Kershaw versus Bieber? Did I miss something, Kyle?
It's a little bit crazy, but I will say this. I really like the Marlins tonight, and I actually like their team total, and they profile really, really well. Up and down the order, every single projected hitter tonight, 1 through 8 that I have right here, all have an advantage against Suter tonight. So I like the Marlins. I think it profiles well for them. Rogers, I like a little bit better than Suter here. Give me the Marlins minus 0.5 in the first 5, and give me the Marlins team total as well.
Quickly on this game also, Jason, I know you touched on this as a best bet. Arizona, New York. Zach Gallen on the mound. Decent pitcher here for Arizona, coming to town. Arizona last night, or coming off a series in Miami, now coming up to New York. 7s across the board. We're getting some low numbers here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's because obviously the Mets are not hitting the ball, and Peterson might be just a little underrated. He's done somewhat decent for the most part. So yeah, I mean, I agree with the line. I think the Mets end up getting some hits today, especially late in the game. But you might be able to wait, to the 3rd, 4th, 5th inning to get an even lower line, and you can follow Donnie there and get those live lines.
Yes,
and I'm sure he'll be on the Mets because that's kind
always
of his spot there. So
the Mets rhymes with depressed lines, and that's what you get. Mets starting at 4.5. You get a 1.5 in the 6th inning. Jump on. They'll soonly be able to cash in. How about this game having a little weather conditions here? Minnesota and Detroit, who I do think Minnesota should be able to hit tonight. Heavy showers to start the game, sort of tapers off late, but we're talking about playing in Detroit. Weather in the 40s, wind blowing from right to left in this one. I'm going to get your take on this game, Kyle, because we look at the two pitchers coming. Skubal is just a wreck. He is atrocious. Minnesota's going to line up a lot of right-handed bats. They should hit tonight, right?
Yeah, I love the Minnesota lineup. The weather is the one thing that stinks. Nelson Cruz is who I wanted to take in my home run prop today, but it's so cold out there. But again, Skubal stinks. The bullpen stinks. The Twins should hit that team total today. They should win this game in the first 5 innings. They should win this game, the full game. And look, even if you're a little nervous on taking the Twins here in the weather, just live bet this spot. Wait till you get the lowest number possible, because when that Detroit bullpen comes in, it's runs. Runs are going to be scored. They're an ERA of over 6.5. I like the Twins here. I agree with Jason's take earlier. I like that as a best bet of the day as well. I think that's a really nice play.
Taking a look at Cincinnati here, traveling to Cleveland. Miley, the left, who's been decent this year, going up against Plesac. Over-under in this game, it's 8s across the board. Joey Votto cracked his thumb. He's going to be out a couple weeks here, but that lineup still looks good for Cincinnati. It's a problem with trusting those Cleveland bats. They're going to line up a lot of right-handed bats here against the Cincinnati Reds. 139 is a favorite for Cleveland. Are we believing that, Jason?
You see, so I think the Reds are going to win that first 5. And I watched a lot of those Indians-Royals games, and the Indians, they've been really just kind of coming back late in games and feasting late in games. So, I would look at the Reds with plus money in the first 5, but then I wouldn't touch the Reds late in the game because the Indians could come back. Harold Ramirez in that lineup, that's helping a lot for the Indians. So I like the Reds in the first 5, but I wouldn't touch that full game.
All right, Flexen and Fulte tonight. Seattle and Texas down in Texas. Slight favorite here, minus 116 offshore for Texas. They actually opened up as a slight dog, but that is now flipped. 8.5s and 9s, depending on where you're shopping, with a total tonight. Flexen Fultonavich. I know you don't like Fultonavich, so no surprise here if I think you might be fading him.
That's correct, and I'm getting a plus money on Seattle here in the first 5. Now, he's been better than, I've been giving him a lot of crap, and he hasn't been terrible, in fairness. His last couple of starts have been pretty solid. But I just like the bats here tonight for Seattle a little bit more, and if I can fade the Rangers and get plus money in the first 5 on the money line as well, so if they tie, it's just a push. Plus 105 money line for the Mariners. Sign me up for that. That's the route I'm going on this game.
All right. I got an interesting game here for you, Jason. Chicago White Sox and the Kansas City Royals, 969, 970. Favorite here for the White Sox on the road at 152, as high as 160 here in New Jersey. Now, when I pull this game up and I look at Rodon, some of the best splits you are ever going to see about a month and a half into the season going up against batters. And Kansas City is ice cold at the plate, particularly against lefties. Check out Rodon's numbers. 18 batters he's faced from the left side, 0.092 weighted on base average, and a 0 ISO. How about from the right-hand side? 77 batters he's faced, 0.197 weighted on base average, and a 0.076 ISO power number. Unless we're just being contrarian and fading him and saying, I like the Royals today, I don't see it from their perspective. Rodon should dominate again.
Well, here's why you can look the other way. I'm not doing it. I'm not touching this game, but here's why. Keller is a big ground ball pitcher, and the White Sox, they hit a ton of ground balls. I think it's nearly 58% of the time against righties are hitting ground balls. Yep. And Keller's inducing ground balls. So, yeah, Keller's been awful all year, and Rodon's been excellent all year. But, obviously both of these pitchers have to kind of get back to, back to normal. And that could mean that Keller has a good day, gets ground balls, and he's able to help the Royals win this game. I'm staying away. I like the White Sox. I think that they're the better team. Of course, Keller has been awful, and Rodon has been excellent. So looking at that from that perspective, it's an obvious White Sox play. But yeah, be weary. The White Sox can definitely hit some ground balls, and that can definitely change the day for the White Sox.
Gomber. Kyle, what are we doing against Gomber here in this game coming up versus St. Louis? St. Louis struggled at the plate yesterday. I think we can scratch 4 runs out, but I know looking at the Colorado lineup from a batting perspective, any interest from you?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a team total of 2.5. I mean, what are we talking about here? Like, yes, I think they can get to 2.5. Has Flaherty been good? Yes. Vitalis does a great job in the chat box showing us the stats of Flaherty in his first 5. All that stuff is fantastic, but 2.5 for a Colorado team here, that I think there's some advantages here in their lineup. I like here, once I pull it up here, Tapia, boom, from the leadoff spot. Charlie Blackmon, nice advantage here. Nunez at the bottom of the order. Ryan McMahon in the 2-hole. 2.5 seems too low to me. I like that Rockies team total if I'm going to bet this. And let me translate some of that stuff for Jason. That means official play. He's taking the Royals at Jason Radowitz.
And he does recommend doing it.
And
he recommends Keller gets rocked in the first inning.
Put the mortgage on the Royals. Jason Radowitz told you to do so.
There you go. By the way, Tampa Bay and Oakland out in the Coliseum, usually one of those games I'm very heavily interested because for some reason Oakland games always pique my interest. Chillier conditions in Oakland tonight. Anytime Tampa Bay's lineup 1 through 9, I don't know if it's like they play with cement baseballs. They have no power at all from any position 1 through 9. And it always seems when Tampa Bay scores, it's pure luck. But Oakland does like to bat against lefties. But sometimes those crafty left-handed pitchers amaze me how are they getting people out? Why is this in the 5th inning and Rich Hill has only given up 2 hits and no earned runs, Jason?
Yeah, and that's what happened last week. Of course, Kyle just touched on that as well. But I still like the Athletics to get over 3.5 on the team total. I still like the Athletics to win that first 5. Rich Hill, yeah, he's crafty. He's a veteran. He knows what he's doing and all, but looks like the Pirates are going to allow another run. So, yeah, not good start.
That's a horrible play by the right fielder, by the way.
Yeah,
what is he doing here? He's just like, hey, let's let it drop. Oh, boy. Go ahead, Jason.
But, yeah, I mean, Athletics over 3.5, the team total. Athletics minus 0.5 in the first 5. Might need to play these games now to get my money back in Chase on a Friday night here. But, yeah, that's my take.
Follow Jason on Twitter tonight as the bets keep rolling in to get this dollars back. That's what we like to see. Last game of the night, 961, 962, San Diego and San Francisco. Again, cold conditions out in San Francisco in the Bay Area. By the way, Oakland right across the bay from San Francisco, so some double-header type action. Snell's on the mound, the lefty, versus DeSclafani. 7s across the board. 152 in New Jersey is a favorite here for San Diego. Kyle, give me a look.
Yeah, I like the Padres' first 5, like I talked about. It's one of my favorite plays of the day. The Giants just don't profile well here against Snell. I mean, I guess a little bit for Austin Slater if you're worried about him, and Longoria and Mauricio Dubon. But that's about it here. I like the Padres. I think Snell shuts them down. You're getting minus 105, minus 0.5 in the first 5. I like that a lot. And just to real quickly touch on that St. Louis Cardinals Colorado game again, I also like the Colorado team total. Their team profiles very, very well against the lefty Gomber. So that game could go to an over as well. I like both teams' team totals. And I like the St. Louis Cardinals in DFS. Goldschmidt, Arenado, Edman. I do have Arenado on my home run list. I didn't give that one out, but he is on my home run list as well.
All right, clearing the bases. 30 minutes got through a Friday card. We're going to recap our best bets and our bankers. Jason, I will start with you first. Give us a recap. What are we touching tonight?
Yeah, it looks like I'm betting the entire card now because of the Pirates. So just going to go down the entire list and just put out 14 bets and we're chasing. No, but I'm on the Mets minus 130 in the full game, and also the Twins over 4.5 on the team total. Those are my 2 plays for the day, and I am not chasing. I'm not going to be that guy, but I still am really upset, although we still have plenty of time to go.
There you go, Kyle. What do we got, man?
I love the A's team total over 3.5, minus 130. I think that makes a ton of sense today. Like I've mentioned, I like the Padres minus 0.5 in the first 5 at minus 105. And Nerfy in that Atlanta-Philly game. My home run guy today, JD Martinez. Good luck, everyone.
I do think we get 5 runs in the St. Louis game, but again, it's all relative to what your lines are. I'm going to pay for this one at 3.5 minus 150. 4s are across the board out there, so it's a nice number to get in. And even if we see some, maybe not so much scoring over the first couple innings there, I think you're getting a depressed market. Not a great bullpen for Colorado by any stretch. Maybe we can jump in again. But as I said, tonight, a lot of games on the card, a lot of things going on. There's going to be some added bonuses and some advantages we can take care of in game. So follow all 3 of us here on Twitter. But that has been the Friday show. If you need anything more out of sportsbookreview.com, checking out Major League Baseball, click that link below, sbrpicks.com/MLB. Thank you guys for hitting that subscribe button, turning those notification bells on, hitting the thumbs up, supporting the shows all throughout the channels as we roll through the summer here with Major League Baseball. I'm Donnie Seymour. He's Jason Radowitz for Kyle Purviance. We are sportsbookreview.com, and this was your Major League Baseball show for Friday. Good luck on your wagers this weekend.